Okay, so why don't we get going? Bridget, Meredith, Dana, Tricia, Valerie, can you just tell us who you are, your last name for the records?
Tracy, could you record?
Valerie? Or could you?
Valerie Bills.
Is it Valerie Bills?
Yes, it's Valerie Bills.
Okay, just so we have you. I didn't want to make another Valerie. So the meeting's called to order. The first item on the agenda is, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda from anybody? Can you watch the screen for me?
December 1 letter.
December 1 letter.
Oh, you want, what do you want to add that under? That would probably fit under budget, right?
Wherever you like, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll add it under budget.
Which one out of executive session?
Yep, so we have, I've asked, Bob's asked us for an executive session to discuss a personnel issue. Well, oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were passed out.
That's all right.
Everybody else good? Okay, the only other thing I'd like to do is, I do know Andrew wasn't feeling great, and we have him here to talk about the annual meeting timeline. Does anybody have a problem if I bump him up front? So he doesn't have to stay on all night long and visit with us? Okay, if there's no other additions or deletions, I will do members of the public first, but I don't think we have any public, do we?
Dana Cerise.
Dana, I'm sorry, Dana. Do you have anything under public, Dana?
I mean, you know I always have something to say, Chief. I wanted to ask if, because I don't see it on the agenda here, is if you were going to address the break-in in Wardsboro and the attempted break-in at Dover?
I think that we all saw it on the,
Update. We're gonna just talk about it.
yeah, it was all, I think everything was sent out. And I don't know, do you folks have any updates on that? Or,
Pending police investigation, so we probably shouldn't
We
have
can't
too
talk
much
about
to
it.
comment on.
okay, but everybody's safe.
Yes.
And I will say, Dana, that I couldn't get in the building tonight. I was met at the door by this really mean-looking person who wanted to know who the heck I was before they would let me in. So,
How dare they?
well, that's Tracy, and she scared me. I left. That's why I'm late.
She scares me too.
But I love her. She's a great administrator for us here in Dover.
We also love her here at the Cerise house.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I do know that I'm very impressed with both Donna and Tracy on getting stuff out. And I didn't realize how good they were at getting stuff out until I just recently asked that if, you know, some of us board members like Laura, myself, and Dwight don't have students in the building. And so Tracy included us, and I thought it was pretty informative. But again, with something like that, as serious as that, definitely don't wait till a board meeting. If you have concerns, make sure you let the administrator know, because you may know something, or somebody in the public may know something that would really help. Like maybe you're dropping something off for your child and you saw a car parked on the main road or something. That's all really important stuff and can be very helpful.
My question was more towards like the cameras, right? So I understand that Wardsboro was supposed to receive extra cameras or more cameras at the building under a grant, and that was approved, but I guess they were never installed, and so can we work on getting those cameras at Wardsboro?
This feels like maybe a conversation to be careful about, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Dana, the problem with that is if we tell you that there was 5 new cameras installed, then people are aware of that, or if they weren't. It's definitely a conversation I would have in private with the staff, with the administrators.
Thank you.
Okay, was there anything else, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you don't have to call me sir. I actually work for a living. 1 point. Well, thank you. And is that it for public? Yeah. And then staff, I think we have Valerie, Bridget, and Tricia. Seeing nobody jumping forward. Going once, going twice. Andrew, Annual meeting timeline. So our annual meeting last year, we voted to have it at the end of April. And not for specifics, but I know, we're in Dover this time. We've been doing it at the Dover Town Hall, so pending another outbreak of Corona 24 or something like that. We plan on having a live meeting at the Dover Town Hall, and there'll be 10 days before that, we're required to have a meeting in Wardsboro as an informational meeting, which we'll try to incorporate into a regular school board meeting. But I was hoping you can just work with us quickly and give us some highlights on when you need the budget, when you need the articles, when petitions will need to be in, and that kind of stuff, sir.
Sure. So, I didn't go into work today, so forgive me, I'm not as prepared as I normally would be. But basically, the last Tuesday in April is the 30th. It appears that there's 5 Tuesdays in April. Keep that in mind. So we'll be having the annual meeting on the 30th, Tuesday, and the election of officers of you folks on the Monday prior, the Monday immediately before the Tuesday of the meeting like we did last year.
The 29th.
Which means, huh?
The 29th then.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
29th. Which means that I will have the ballots ready no later than the 9th of April. It means that the warning has to be signed and recorded and posted by the 29th of March. Which means if you want to keep it within regular meetings, your meeting on March 18th, you have to have everything ready to sign. The meeting prior to that is town meeting day, the first Tuesday in March. Your meeting will be the day before town meeting day. I'm not going to be available or much help during that week, so keep that in mind. Looks like February might be when you want to plan to get things done by the end of February, maybe, for as far as the warning goes and the final budget number, if that's possible. Let's see. Your petitions for office will need to be to me by the 18th of March. So I will have those ready at least a month before that. I can probably have them ready well before that, but by at least a month from then, ahead of that deadline, I'll have those available for you.
What was that date again? I'm sorry.
March 18th.
The 18th of March,
For the
the
back.
office petitions will
Oh,
be due. Let's see, so, yeah, that's in a nutshell the important dates.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Laura's gonna.
Laura, I'm sorry.
Yep, Andy or Rich, can you remind me who's up this year for election?
Well, speaking of the devil,
I don't have that with me.
I know I'm up for Dover.
And then Dwight.
Dwight,
Us too.
so Dwight and I,
We're on
the
the same team.
dynamic duo, we're on the same term.
Okay. Either of you making any announcements this evening?
Well, do you want me to announce my run for presidency or my other run?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'm running for president under the common sense ticket. No. Yeah, I plan to run again for one more term. You want
How long are the terms again?
3 years.
Oh.
It's not as bad as the first time
Not
around
the
when we
four,
ran
the
for
first,
4
the
years.
first- Yeah, I plan on running this one.
Yeah. But I will say that it will probably be my last because I'm old now, but I'm really, really gonna be old by the end of 3 more years.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you'll get there eventually too.
So now that we've, can I go?
Oh, yeah.
Now that we've, Andy, now that we've made our attention, so you said that the petitions are due in to you by the 18th of March? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And,
Yep.
And I understand there's some new laws or something that for signatures and that kind of thing. Do you know
60.
I thought it was changed, but
No,
60
it's
signatures?
still the 60, right? 'Cause-
During COVID, I think they did something with the signatures. You didn't even need signatures maybe, but that's expired as far as I know. I will check that for you, but I believe you need the signatures. It's 1%. And
Andrew, I thought because we changed that where everybody votes for a candidate from one town, it had to be 60.
What's
Sig-
that?
60 last
And
year.
we tried
Oh,
to,
that's
remember,
right.
and then we
That's
tried to
right.
get legislation introduced to correct
That's right.
that, and they corrected it, but they didn't correct what we needed corrected because of we're a unified union or something, we're different. So my understanding is you still need
Yeah.
60, but it's from both towns. You don't need them from, I wouldn't need them just from Dover, Dwight wouldn't need them just from Wardsboro. We can do both towns.
that's correct, Rich. That's my understanding too. Thanks for
Yeah, and
being on top of
I
that.
know, Laura, you may know, and you got your hand up, but wasn't there a bill or something, but it didn't include us?
I thought it was corrected. I couldn't.
Go ahead, Laura.
I would have to go back and look.
Okay. We'll find that out, because we still got a couple days, so.
Okay, thanks.
You good? Okay.
That was my
That was your question too?
Yep.
Okay. Andy, I don't need to keep you. Is there anything else that we should think about that you're aware of? I know you've always got, you keep us on our straight and narrow, so.
No. I think you got plenty of time. It's good that you're thinking about this now, and I think if you schedule your budgeting meetings so that you can have a really good idea of what you want to sign by the end of February, we're going to be in good shape. Mark off on your calendars the early evening of the annual meeting day, that last Tuesday in April, because we're going to have an election in Dover and an election in Wardsboro for you guys, and then we're going to bring the ballots to where are we meeting for our annual meeting?
We're meeting at the town hall. Dover.
In Dover.
Yes.
So we're going to all meet in Dover before our annual meeting and count the ballots.
Right.
And we'd love to have you there.
Well, and remember, the board members, we agreed that if we did this to Andy and made him count ballots for both towns, that we would help him an hour before the annual meeting every year. So be there or suffer the wrath of Andrew. Right?
That's overrated.
Oh, okay. And then just as, Andy, just so you know, Bob wanted to say something before you left, and we did talk to the chief financial officer for the district, and she has a lot of budgets to get out early, because I think West River needs to be done beginning of January. So our thought is once she was done with the rush of those, that she could do work with us. So we do plan, and we're going to meet tonight, because January is a tough month, because our first meeting is on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and our second meeting is supposed to be on Martin Luther King holiday. So we are going to discuss when we can meet to because we know we have that. So it may be a good chance for us to meet at the end of January on an off night and just concentrate on budget.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rich, one more thing that just jumped into my mind. Your annual report. Do I remember that that's part of the warning for your annual meeting?
Yes,
Right.
we try to do.
And the union usually takes care of that,
The
and getting it
SU
out to
does.
folks on time and all that, right?
Yeah, we hire a printer to print it and mail it.
Okay.
And we have a lady at the central office that helps. Is that what you want to say, Bob?
Well, she's unable to do it this time, so I'm in the process of recruiting someone else.
Okay.
But my question was really more about, like, is there anything I need to know as far as the timeline on when that needs to be printed and ready and sent in order to make these?
It has to be out because the warning has to be in it correctly. So it'll have to go out after we have the warning finalized, and then Andy, it's 30 days before the meeting, 20 days, how?
So the warning's posted physically 30 days prior to the meeting, at the latest. You can post it 45 days before, but no more than 45 before, and no less than 30 before. As far as mailing those things, there is a date, and I will have to get you that, Bob. It's after the posting date when they need to be mailed. I don't have that with me, but I will get it for you.
All right, thank you.
So if we plan on that 45 day, get it sometime in maybe the 40th day, then that will give you plenty of time too. And the
The budget
reports,
is supposed to be in that as well.
right.
Finished.
We'll have approved the budget before then,
Okay.
so that'll be easy. And then the reports, you know, you write a report, I write a report, the administrators write a report. You know, you get some pictures together, and it's just really the 2 pages. Usually the warning takes up about 2 pages.
Right, and you get the previous year's minutes.
I don't think we've included that
We
in the
haven't? Okay.
past. Just grab the last year's one, and that will help you a lot on what's in
Okay,
there.
all right.
Okay? Andrew, are you good, sir?
I am.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you coming out to visit us. I hope you feel a lot better, and hopefully I'll see you at work soon.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Okay,
folks.
thank you, Andrew. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna get back on agenda, folks. I don't see any new people with us. Playground updates, and I guess Greg is not coming in?
No, but I have an update.
Yep, if you wanna do that for us, Bob.
Yes, I do.
Well, actually, why don't you do playground, and then when we're done with that, we can jump into facilities.
All right, playground, so, it looks like, what he wrote, and it's been corrected a little bit since what he wrote, Donna is gonna be working between her pre-K teacher and her, principal advisory committee, to get some information on what they're desiring. After she does that, she'll provide the board more information on that one. And that's really about it, I guess, at this point. So, that will be, I'm not sure if this was the same way, but he said Dover's new pre-K playground will be in the capital budget. And he says, talk to Tracy if you need more information. There's been some proposals, which clearly she already has. So she's a little bit ahead of where Wardsboro is, but I think that the plan is similar, to get something to you guys soon. So that's the playground update.
Well, do you wanna do something, Tracy?
I just have so I worked with Lindsay. I let her design it because she's the one that's got to use it. And she did it in 2 phases and a fence, because we have to have it has to be fenced in. And the first phase is with shipping and installation, $22,000. And the second phase is just crazy to me that it's so expensive. And the second phase is $16,000 with installation and shipping, and the fence is between $8,000 and $10,000.
So what do you mean by 2 phases?
So because it's so expensive to get the entire structure all at once, she got one piece and then
It is usable by itself.
usable by itself, and then because she was thinking fiscally also as a taxpayer, that she wanted it to be like years worth of a project. So she has it in a couple of different stages, like one piece, and then in the next couple of years we can add another piece to it.
Okay, so can I ask one more quick question, and this is kind of you and Donna? Would it make sense to order, I think depending on how it gets installed, and I did the one out here now, I did a lot of pieces for Bill, and I had like 8 guys up here for 3 days, and it was not easy. And I don't know what the Wardsboro one took, because you gotta dig holes and just plant cement and get everything level. Would it possibly be more fiscally responsible for us to do it all in one shot? And I'm just thinking, because of the construction, if it's just items that are kind of like assembled and placed in there, that may not be, but if it's like something that you need to dig and pour cement and have a base, and then the fence, it would make sense. Well, if you can find out, because obviously if it's gonna be in the budget for next year, we still have a little time. And then there may be some other questions from some other people, but again, I'm also wondering if we could order more stuff, if we could maybe get a better price. at least we may save something on shipping, even if we ship it to one location and we split it up from there. So, and then if, what I would kind of be nice is once you get those answers and Don, you have everything, then we can just kind of look at it as what it is. Because I really don't think, and I've known Lindsay for a long time, I don't think she's actually going to use it. I think her kids, her students may use it. Because wouldn't it be big if she was using it for her? Or,
Well, when I said her, I meant her class.
The child.
I'm taking.
You feeling funny tonight, huh?
Oh no, I just, I thought,
Would you like to
I
test
had,
out the playground?
I actually built Lindsay's first playground for her at her house. I helped, and then Paul Scotia finished it. We went and got all the lumber and stuff. Because again, that really isn't, you know, I remember we spent $50,000 on the original playground back when I first got on the board. It's no hardly anything left, so it really doesn't seem like all that much money.
So am I hearing you say what you prefer is to have these guys both come back with a full install quote to put in the actual annual budget rather than the capital?
Well, no, I think it can still come in the capital, but
Okay.
we could just we can bump it up. We can say, yeah, it's going to be a capital expense because it is something that should last for 15 years maybe.
Sure.
So I mean, it fits under, how much? No, never say that because this one was going to last 25 and I haven't quite been here 25 yet. And we replaced that other one back when Bill first got here, so, and we've had somebody since, two people here second. But yeah, and I'm just thinking that, you know, if there is any advantage to both schools doing, I mean, we are one district, so it makes sense that if there is any, and it may just be a few $100 or $1,000 in shipping. You know, if they're gonna send one truck out and they can fit everything on it, that may save us some. So just if you could look into that and let us know, Trace, on that one. And then you said you were going to be doing yours.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the Principal Advisory Committee on December 11th. We have a meeting from 5 to 6 and to get some thoughts or ideas, brainstorming even where we're gonna put it, you know, like really being thoughtful about that. And then Trisha Clark, I would ask her for her input, and I'd be happy to look at what they're proposing here, just to get an idea, thank you. So that we can, you know, have whatever's out there, you know.
And I'm not suggesting that you have to both have the same things, but if we could order maybe from the same company, even though you get, you know, this one and we get over here that one, or maybe you both get the same main structure, but you have, because it wouldn't hurt to have different things, so maybe we could do some field trips between the schools and students can try something different out, you know?
Yes,
So,
like that idea.
okay, I've talked a lot. Somebody's trying to get in. Any other board members have any questions on the playground?
So this is the structure for the pre-K, right? We're talking-
Okay.
We're all good with the older students, right? Both schools are set for a while.
Yes.
So we could reasonably say to the voters that, yeah, we don't think we need to come back for 5 to 7, 10 years maybe.
I do have, they came out to check out our play
Oh, your bats.
structure. Yeah, with that bump, so they're looking into that.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Mikey, you
Yeah.
good? Kate, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Laura, or is Chad still there? Yeah, Laura, Chad, do you have anything about playground?
We're all set.
Chad, you set, sir?
Yeah, I'm all set as well, thank you.
Okay, so, I think we have facilities update.
I got that too. All right, so, let's see. So we are awaiting updated reports from the state in regards to the facility reports. So the state, as part of the fact finding around the buildings in the state of Vermont, all the schools did issue some reports. The numbers were, I think we talked about this last time, the numbers were much lower than what really, as far as replacement costs, they were just off. And there was a lot of complaints about that, I guess, around the state. So they're I guess, doing some updated reports.
I am actually on that committee.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good. Well, what he was saying was that electrical, oil, and a couple other areas were not compiled, and therefore they were missing some key parts of the reports that weren't in the report for our school. So And so to get that information as part of as well. So we will get those, and we'll get those out to the board as soon as we have those completed.
Okay, because I'm on a committee that's looking at construction costs throughout the state.
Yep.
And like the construction cost they were using was like $10 a square foot, where it's at like 70 or 80.
Yeah.
And what that was doing to districts was, although there's no state aid, if you did a major construction project, they would say you can, if you fall in the guidelines of the state sponsor, or whatever the state says is the building costs, that can be excused. And you don't, even though the penalty's been held off since to 2029, if you went over their number, then you would have to pay a penalty on whatever was over that number. So that's why, although the state isn't giving out capital building money, it's still important to have the numbers be right.
Yeah.
So, and that's the committee I'm at. So I thought that was the one you were talking
Well, yeah,
about.
we'll get new ones for the two buildings once they get it corrected. But we'll get that to you guys as soon as we can. And then the only other thing you had was about PCBs.
Well, so that's it for facilities?
That was it for facilities, yep.
Okay. Does anybody have questions on facilities? Laura, Chad, you guys good? No for Chad. Laura, you good?
Good.
Okay. Mikey, you all set? Okay, so pretty much PCB, that's just there in case. I know Tracy sent out an email saying that they're trying to make everybody connect and get times right in the attorney thing. And now Greg said we threw in a little kicker because of the asbestos.
Yep.
So Tracy, you're going to become an expert in asbestos, PCB, playgrounds. Donna, you may have to become an expert in PCB and asbestos. We don't know yet.
So the PCB for Wardsboro testing is complete, and we're waiting for results on that.
But we won't see that till the spring,
It'll be
probably.
a few months, yep. But yeah, it was the asbestos that was causing the delay, trying to figure out how to test with all those. Anyway, so the attorneys being invited in the timelines, so that has not happened. It's still in process.
Okay. Any questions on PCBs? Wardsboro update. 5-6 support for sixth
I have
grader.
about PCBs.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. Talk about PCB.
Just a quick question for Bob. Are you getting all of the support that you need from the state of Vermont?
Yeah, the state's actually been really good, from what I understand from Greg, and being maybe more directive than they're used to being in certain places. But yeah, the people from the state have been great. It's really just been the Monsanto injection that's caused challenges.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All set, Laura? Yeah.
Yes.
Chad, you good? Okay. Cool. Donna, you Bob or you or?
Want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay.
See what you got.
So currently,
You have 12 applicants.
love to report that.
Well, good. Thank you for reporting.
But being optimistic, today we have a new applicant. We did have another applicant. I had reported it out, and that just did not come to be. But today we have a new applicant, and I will be researching that applicant. So right now it is unfilled, and
But there is a chance that it may be filled.
there could be a chance.
So, I'm sorry. Is that it?
Yes.
I just, we kind of made a motion to do something
Right.
last time, but, we can rescind that motion on the last day.
Right.
It's just, I really think we just want to pay attention to the families, because I think it's maybe they're prepping their students to go somewhere else, and then all of a sudden we say, oh, well, no, we hired somebody, and then do we disappoint them because they were actually looking forward to going somewhere else?
I think with 2.5 weeks or so before break, my sense is that if we can get stuff turned around, once you hit break, at that point, like, it just makes a lot of sense to do a lot of posting at that point, so, because then you have to start the transition process.
But even if we don't do the 6th grade, we still talked about moving forward, keeping the pool open, because we still won't need a 5th grade, because that's a lot of pressure on our 3-4 teacher to have another grade and another curriculum to manage.
Yeah, so you guys have talked about how you want to consider that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked minimally about having some parent support, minimally. But yeah, I think that's.
So we did, I put in a requisition to have an anticipated paraprofessional position at Wardsboro to see if there's any interest in supporting a classroom teacher, and there is, actually.
You have an applicant for that too?
Yes.
Because I mean, even if you did get, before you got through all your other hiring process,
I
if
know.
this person works, remember that we could use that just to help out with some planning time for you and
Right.
Val and stuff.
Right.
So we're gonna discuss future meetings. Chad, I'll get to you in 1 second, sir. So you should kind of give us your timeline that you would think that you may want to talk to the board about what's going on, so that we can kind of plan on that, having a meeting. Because we should be on the 18th, but maybe we want to meet a little earlier if you think it's positive, or maybe meet a little bit later because you're having them maybe come in and do some stuff where they're not available until later. So just kind of keep Bob informed, and then he can keep us informed.
I think even if she was able to do an interview this week, middle of the week, then reference checking and onboarding and all that, like, I don't know that we would know much more before the 18th. It's possible,
But I just also don't want to have it be that because we waited 3 or 4 extra days, the person wasn't sure, so they went and applied somewhere else and
Yeah.
got picked up.
Right.
I mean, I would say it would be okay that if we get to that point and they were nervous about that we could talk about a special meeting or something if we had to. Right.
Chad, go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Rich. And I think Kate touched on it a little bit. Definitely the direction I was going. And, as our focus really, I believe, should be, our 6th graders at Wardsboro. And I did mention that I felt as though we weren't giving the 5th grade families enough credence in the process. But again, I still support, our direction that we are moving, and the administrators have moved, focusing on the 6th graders. But, with that said, I do have a very big concern, seeing how the process has worked. And it's not the process itself, but, the development of candidates, viable candidates for position vacancies that we have had. And that if we have a chance to lock down a 5th and 6th grade teacher, even at the deadline, that we should, I know it's something we'll consider. And, I recognize, and Bob said it very well, that, as our 6th grade families have begun the process of considering what they will do, I don't think any of us would argue against them if we were able to find a suitable hire and those families said, no, we're coming back to Wardsboro. And because again, the motion was to close the 6th grade. It was not to close the 5th grade. If we can provide a great opportunity for that classroom, not just for this upcoming semester, but going forward, that is something that we should really consider and not, hamstring our own selves. So thank you for the moment.
Well, and also on that, Chad, too, is we don't know what the future holds for next year either. So even if we found somebody late and they look like a very good candidate, we may want to try to do something so that they'd be available to us next year. And the way things are going, we probably will have an opening in one of the buildings in the next year or two. So it may give us a good person to kind of have on the hook, so to say.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Okay. Mike, you got any thoughts? Okay. Laura?
I believe what I understood is we are moving forward as we decided at our last meeting, and we are also encouraging Donna to move forward in exploring this candidate as a potential for our remaining combined classroom. Is that right?
Or the possibility of keeping the 6th grade open if it really pans out well.
But parents have the option at this point to do what they need to do. we're going to support the parents' decisions here no matter what, right?
I believe that's what we were saying.
Yeah, so I mean, like if a parent chooses at this point to send their kid to one of the public schools, one of the other schools, we're not going to require them to bring their kid back if this actually is a home run teacher.
That was my comment. I just want to make sure that we were good with that, because I didn't want parents to get their child excited about going somewhere else and then being told, oh, well, now you were excited about that, but guess what? You're going to stay here. So yeah, that's what I'm.
So Bob, can we do that, Bob? So to me, it's just really important that at this point, the parents have maximum flexibility. So if they make a choice now, they can either stick with that choice or change their mind if we were to find somebody. Can they do that if we find somebody?
I mean, technically, the only way they can leave is if you're closing the 6th grade. So,
But I thought the discussion we had was there'll be a 5th grade teacher.
right, so but what she's asking is if we hire someone to be 5, 6 and one 6th grade family still want to leave, right? So in that case, we aren't closing the 6th grade. And so that avenue for the family legally comes off the table because you haven't closed the 6th grade.
Hey, Laura, let's hope this problem occurs and we'll figure it out in the next meeting.
I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that we have as much clarity as possible for the board and the parents, if everybody's clear. I think I'm clear.
Yeah, I wasn't, and I messed up, so thank you for straightening me out, because
My understanding was I was interim taking requests for the purpose of them making the transition mid-January. And I had no requests as of right now, but that I was just receiving them, that they weren't acting on it necessarily right now.
okay.
But that was my understanding.
But also, I want to make sure if a parent wants to have their students start right after Christmas break, too, that they can. So let's definitely have that discussion, Bob, and have some answers. Because that is true. If we do the 6th grade, if we hire a 5 teacher or 5, 6, or the possibility to do that, and let's say 2 of the parents want their children to still go somewhere else, and 2 want them to go to the 5th, 6th in Wardsboro, then we haven't really closed it, so we are not allowed to pay tuition. Unless...
So Rich?
Yeah?
So can we do what you suggested, which is let's proceed. We've closed our 6th grade. We're hiring a 5th grade. And if somehow the magic teacher has appeared, the miracle teacher has appeared, we'll cross that bridge when we get there with the parents. Does that seem reasonable?
I don't know what Dwight's thinking.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what we did with the motion.
No, we did.
We closed the 6th grade in the
Yeah,
motion.
that was the motion. We had to, or else we can't pay tuition.
And then we put the timeline on the end of the
timeline.
semester.
We said we will close the 6th grade on this date at the end of the semester,
Yeah,
and that
right.
give the superintendent blanket authority to any 6th grade parent from Wardsboro who would like their child to go somewhere other than the Dover building would do that, because that was kind of the original request from the parents.
They wouldn't get approval until the actual date, is that correct?
That was my sense. That
Me too.
I could give them the approval in the interim, but it would happen on that date.
That it would, right, that it would happen on that date.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Thus they
That
could
was my
proceed with
impression, too.
tours and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay, that was my impression.
Okay, so Donna, I hope you present us a big problem at the next meeting. We can have a 3-hour discussion on it. Thank you, Laura, for straightening me out. I was messed up. Do you want to talk about, so I think support for the 6th graders, the thought behind that was, is there something we can do to help the 6th grade parents in Wardsboro who may have their children going somewhere else? Do we want to set up a field trip to like Leland and Gray or Marlboro or what's the other school? Pardon? Twin Valley. And I think the 3-4-5 plan was just, how do you stand, and is there anything we need to do to support you, or is that all kind of going on hold until we see what happens?
So we're discussing a lot of those things. I think one thing to think about is you know, how much do we want to do right now? And I'm more than happy to collect some information from the parents if they want to start planning something for sixth grade. If you want me to move forward with that and get ideas, but I don't want to get ahead of myself if something else is going to happen and do that. But I'm coming to you with ideas or suggestions. Do you think I should start that process now for the sixth grade?
I would rather let you kind of tell us, because
Okay.
I'm not with the students, I don't know the
Okay.
students, and maybe Valerie, and
Mhm.
actually maybe even the former teacher could weigh in, or the parents.
Okay.
So why don't you talk to them and
I'll
ask
talk
them
to
if
them.
there's some support. If it's something very simple that you can do,
Yeah.
you know, talk to
Right.
Bob, and you know, I'm sure Tracy's be willing to help you out.
Okay.
And just see what you can do. And Bob, I mean, if it's short of spending $100,000, I mean, if you need to have a bus move them, or say hire West River to run a few of them to a school or something, you know, let's try to just
Okay.
be supportive. I mean,
Yeah.
this has not been a good situation for anybody.
I can do that. I can reach out to them.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah,
Good?
that's fine.
Good with that?
Yes.
Chad and Laura, you guys good with that?
Yep.
Laura?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So I think we've covered that pretty well. So here, I'm going to speak a lot on this subject because I'm probably the most technologically advanced person in this room. But I think I'm going to, just so I can correct her, I'm going to turn this one over to our vice chair, because she understood the email. So Chad, between you and Kate, I wasn't sure on this website update, and then there was something about who gets the domain, and something about you couldn't read something online, and I asked the technology person to come, but he declined. So
our IT coordinator reached out and asked for some points of clarification on who had permission sets to which Google Drives, and he wanted to understand the flow of documentation, because as we know, Bob and Sue work on the agendas and then distributing those, and then Meredith works on the minutes and getting those out. And then we have other parts and pieces, we have the policy stuff, we have all of these different parts that live on all of these different drives, and if we need the drives, you know, Susie, Mary, and Sally or something like that. Think about the drives, and they're named different people. And like, he wants to see if we can put them all under one person instead of having it all, or actually having it so that like this drive, we can have all the people who need to access it, and then it can feed all the places it needs to feed. So that we're not having somebody like have to update a document here, so then it can feed this, and then it can feed that, and like, so they're just looking to make sure that we are efficient with our planning. And
So, Rich, by drive, what Kate means is a file cabinet.
I thought you were talking
Electronic
about
file
my
cabinet.
truck when
Right
I
now,
put it
we
in
have
D.
2 or 3 with different people who have the keys. So we're looking either to have one master key for the folks that have to part of their role is to bring in the documents they're responsible for. Because again, everything, and while we're still as a committee, that everything would be in PDF form, so nothing can be manipulated out, once it hits the public domain. But we want to make sure that access to these documents, additions and removal thereof, are only with the responsible folks. The hang up that I was having was from the end user, all of us in our community. When they clicked on documents, they weren't viewable. So that has been fixed, which was huge. And that's something that I've gone back and forth with, because I did not have the technical capacity to do that. So that aspect is there. Does that make more sense now, Rich? More file cabinet than Drive?
So I kind of understand drives because I got a Google Drive for my business that I don't get. Mike understands and I'm okay. But my question, where I was getting confused is, why can't we have multiple people that can download or put things on there? Like Bob's office, he can give permission to himself and to Sue and to maybe Lori, because they would have the ability. And then why can't on the board, we have a couple board people, you know, like Mike and I being the real technological gurus, we could put things on there. And then, you know, maybe Kate because of the policy stuff. So are you looking at just one person controls it, or that who gets to get permission to put stuff on?
No, and just like you said, yeah, we could have multiple permissions. That's not a problem. It's more a matter of, because right now there are multiple cabinets, and we really need to have one, or at least a shortcut that sort of merges them together.
I see.
So that, again, yeah, multiple people that have access to do their job. Kate, go ahead.
It'd be like putting all of the filing cabinets in one room, and that room has a master key. And we want to make sure that people who can get into the room have access,
So can't we have the room with multiple master
Don't give me a key.
keys? But couldn't we have, like, you know, Bob can get into these cabinets because he needs to, but like Bob doesn't have any reason to get into my cabinet for, I don't know.
Oh, so here's a good one. At work, I have a fob, and my fob lets me into different places.
Right.
And they can control which rooms I can go into.
Right.
But they could give you a fob, and you could go into rooms like A,
Some of yours, but
B,
but
and
some of
D.
his.
But I get A, B, C, and D
Right.
because I'm not going to mess up the files.
Right. So is that what we're setting up?
Yes.
So why don't we just do that? Because I agree that,
That's
I mean,
what we're saying.
That's what
okay,
we said
so
in the email
do
back
we
to the
need
IT
to, do we
coordinator.
need to?
We just want to make sure you guys understood it and we're good with it. That was
So do
really
we
it.
need to
Great
do
job,
anything? Make a motion or?
I think we're good. I don't think it has to be a board.
We just wanted to make sure that there weren't two different places. That you guys are good with it being one place and we can point that place in two locations.
No,
So the River Valley site can point to the same place that the SU site points to, and it's one container. And so we're only updating that one place.
Right. So,
Those
like,
two directions.
see if I get this right. If I go to the River Valley site and I want to, no, this should be quick. And I want to look at SU policies, because I just happen to look at River Valley policies and I want to know why there isn't a policy about, or where the policy is, it says the superintendent can't have hair. So instead of me having to now go to WCSU or somewhere else, I can click on a link that says WCSU policies and I can go there, so that I don't have WCSU policies in West River but there is an ability for me to get the WCSU policies. So you only have to put it in the WCSU one. I don't have to go to River Valleys and put it in there, and to West River and to Marlboro, and is that what we're trying to do?
No,
Okay, then I'm lost.
because the policies are adopted differently by different boards. What
Right,
you're talking about is the filing cabinet, to overuse this metaphor, has different drawers.
right,
Each drawer is for a different board,
Okay.
right? And so when you guys create a policy, we put it in the River Valley's drawer. It doesn't also go into the SU board drawer,
Okay.
unless the SU board adopts the same policy. So there's different drawers with different
so
policies from.
if I go to the WCSU website and I want to see the policy on school bus color for each of the districts.
You'd have to go to each district and look at policies separately from each one. What we would like to do eventually is have a grid with all the districts and all the policies that you just click on so you can see who has which ones. And it's just a big grid, and you just go, boom, which would be like kind of what you're describing.
Okay, so
We're
I'm
not there
good.
yet,
I understand it.
so.
Everybody else good?
I think so.
Laura, you good? Mike and I are looking at each other like we're not sure which end is up, but
Sounds good.
are you good, Mike?
Crystal clear.
Thank you. I'm crystal clear too. Thank you for that, folks. Hey, policy update. You had a meeting set or something, didn't you?
No, I have not yet set a meeting. I need to.
And that's Mike, right?
Work with the other policy committee member.
Mike?
To set a meeting date, and then I will get a list together and agenda together.
Send me a
But-
link.
Yeah.
Send them, tell them which file cabinet you just gotta go to, and which key fob he needs,
Check
Too soon?
and which web drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you need help, Mike, just call me, I'll get you straightened out.
Let me go.
Okay. And then, but, you know, it's not SU, but Bob, you set a policy committee for the SU,
Yep.
and that's January 3rd,
Fifth, maybe?
Yeah.
Whatever the night of the SU board meeting is.
Okay, so it's the fourth Wednesday.
Okay, 25th maybe.
Okay.
Familiar.
And that's just, Kate's gonna go there and I'm gonna go as for SU. Okay.
Did you also invite Mike on that one?
I did not, but I can.
Well, there's
Oh,
one
you only have
member,
one that
right,
goes to
but
that
Mike,
one.
you can go if you wanna get really confused.
If you'd like to, if you don't want to, it's okay.
Okay, I'm easily confused.
Yeah, so am I tonight. It's a bad day today. Okay, I had this down as FY25 budget timeline. Kate and I, when we met with Bob, and we kind of went over it, and it was more just a placeholder there. But Laura, you brought up the December 1st letter, which is an important letter. It's when Act 60 was passed. This was one of the deadlines that boards are supposed to be notified by the Department of Taxes, and the AOE comes together and projects the tax rate, even though it's just a projection, because until the legislators go to Montpelier to have their Kool-Aid party, we really don't know what the numbers are. But Laura, I know you've got some comments, so you want to jump on that one?
No, I just thought, Richard, we always have a number of new families. We have a number of cost pressures that are happening. So I appreciate you explaining what the letter is. We've talked some about the cost pressures. And I don't know if we've talked a lot about the weighting issue, which we pushed hard on. But the effect of the weights are rolling in, and what that does is it reduces pupil counts and taxing capacity in some districts, and it increases pupil counts and taxing capacity in other districts. Did I say that right? Increasing one and decreasing the other?
Yep.
So the districts that are seeing a decrease in pupil counts and taxing capacity, the agreement in rolling in these new pupil weights was to hold them to 5% increases in their budget for 3 years. That has the effect of nullifying, in many cases, the benefit of the weights, and everyone still bearing with the larger, wealthier districts that had more capacity to begin with. So I expect that that's something that we'll be looking at and in the legislature. And also, as Rich said, the December 1 letter is based on the projections of what our budget and our voters are going to do. So that's all, Rich. Just wanted to take this moment for a little public education about where we are at.
And the other important thing, folks, to remember too is on those projections, that's one of the reasons we push our meeting out into April, because legislature, even if they haven't voted yet, sometimes they're even gone. We have an idea. So there was one year, a few years ago during COVID, where if we presented a budget in March, we were looking at doubling the budget, over doubling the budget. But by the time legislature got done and put some more money into the fund, we had a pretty reasonable small increase, which, makes it a lot easier to sell it when we're not increasing it hugely. And the other thing is, with the December 1st letter, although the tax rates may be close, then sometimes they'll adjust the weights, not the way the weights are figured, but how much you're going to give per pupil. So it's not a bad thing to kind of be aware of it, because it does give everybody a starting point. But Lori made a very good point at the WCSU meeting, and at Wyndham Central, and both at River Valleys and Wyndham Central, we made a plan with all our ESSER money to not spend it all in 1 year. And I think I saw an article in the Brattleboro Reformer or some newspaper that Wyndham North East has spent all their ESSER funds like right away the same year that it became available and didn't plan ahead. So they're looking at a huge increase to replace those ESSER funds. And what that's going to do to all of us is that creates more increases in other budgets that will put pressure on the overall amount of money that is available to fund education. So they have to account for that somewhere. So they have to make they have to either give more per pupil or give less or do some adjustments. So one of the things Act 1668 has really done for new families is that it's not the hand that raises to say, I want to vote for that, reaches into the other, with the other hand to pull the money out of the pocket. If over in Bellows Falls, they vote to double their budget, some of that's coming out of our pockets and some of that's out of our voters' pockets. So it is something to really pay attention to. We're Manchester, Whitingham, Dummerston, Putney. Everybody good? Huh? Editorial. Approve current financial. Oh, is there any other old business, Mike? You said, sir. You good?
I'm good.
Laura or Chad? Anything new? Anything old? I mean.
I'm all set.
Laura.
All set, thanks, Rich.
Okay, so new business. We have approved current financials. So in your packet, there's pay order 17 in the amount of $2,031.50, and number 18 in the amount of $375,888.51.
I would like to make a motion that we approve pay warrant number 17 for $2,031.50 and pay warrant number 18 for $375,888.51.
Do I have, Meredith, do you have those numbers? Did you get them in the packet?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second to the motion that Kate made?
Second.
Dwight seconds it. Anybody have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? It appears as though it's... Are you eyeing yes or eyeing no? Laura?
Yes.
Okay. It appears to be a unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is, so the motion passes. So we had two principal reports, one from Dover and one from Wardsboro, WES and DES. So other than what's in those reports, Tracy, do you have anything else, any late breaking news?
Yes, just that our transfer station fees, so we use Casella, all those fees are going up because, they're trying to save the environment. So we are going from like $90 a month to nearly $200 a month. And we also have to build something to put our rollaway garbage containers in because we will have bears. So we also have that expense, just so you know.
So when Act 60 rolled around, we made a deal with the town to bring stuff down to the transfer station so there wasn't any trash for the bears to get into. We want to try to look into that, go to the select board and see if we can work with them again.
We saw,
Go ahead.
So what were the numbers again? It went from 60 to 200, you said?
well, it was $90,
90.
And now it will be
Well, that we were with Triple T,
200.
right?
Yes, but Triple T was
T got bought out, right?
bought
So
out
by Casella.
that's why the numbers have really
But
increased.
did they give you a reason, specific
Yes,
reason? for the
because we have
increase?
to have a 4 cubic yard, zero sort recycling container. And then we have to have the 3 rollaways for food trash.
So you have two containers, one with recycling and a regular now.
Yes, but now we can recycle everything, whereas before the only thing we could recycle was cardboard and paper.
think that's a requirement to the state, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a law they passed a
Yeah,
few years ago.
okay.
I noticed at Suntech you had that.
We do have that.
You don't.
We do it by hand.
Hey, can we not do the recycling and just bring the recycling to the landfill,
Yeah.
to the transfer station?
Yeah.
And save money on
Who's gonna
that
bring
thing?
it?
Pardon?
Who's gonna bring it? We still have to have a place to store it.
I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big, the recycling is major expense.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You can just bring it on your way home. You can leave 10 minutes early, throw it in the back of your car.
We'll have a truck party once a week, right?
When the town pickup comes, what does he pick up?
Well, right now, he picks, honestly, I don't know, but something, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not a good situation.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Well,
Anything else? Anything good?
no,
Okay.
nothing.
Nothing. You get to meet with
I want to talk a
us.
little trash.
This is lovely.
We're here in your building finally after a month. I'm sorry, Donna, you got anything besides what you had in here?
No, I'm really like to highlight the STEAM that's happening in grades 1 and 2. They were studying late and did this great project. In the back of your is a little picture of their shadow, and they're going to continue learning about this and come up with a play and present it in maybe, if they're not feeling too stage fright, in small amounts of going into a little classroom at a time. And we just celebrated our second whole school celebration. Did that by decorating some cookies, and we weaved a yarn of stars as a craft. They tried to do buttons, but the button machine wasn't cooperating very well, but it was fun. We had a fun time with that whole school, and our school counselor led that, Nikki Eckensterna, and Jennifer Hedrick, a para in the building. She provided, I think she told me like she baked 160 cookies.
Jen Hedrick cookies are phenomenal. I have not actually had one because I'm gluten-free, but like, they're beautiful.
How come we haven't
made
had one?
We'll
You gotta know the right people. Yeah.
They're delicious.
Big sales
They're
in
very
October.
good sugar cookies. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that it, man? So, from the board, and Laura, we'll get to you in one sec, any questions on anything in the principal's report that you want clarification on, or is there any other questions for either one? So go ahead, Laura, you're first. Maybe.
Yeah, check. I just want to make sure, are we composting at both schools?
Yes, we at Wardsboro we're composting, but I have to. Does my compost come to you? And it comes to Dover, and our recycling comes to Dover.
And Tracy puts in her
Oh.
car and brings it to the transfer station. We determined.
Tracy is receiving all of the compost and our recyclables. That's amazing.
So that's required by law too, right?
Yeah, but we have a car.
It is required, yeah. I just wanted to make sure that we were doing that.
No one
So,
enforces that law as far as I'm aware.
No, they don't. They never
But it
have.
is a law.
It's a law.
It's a conscience, it's up here.
Yeah.
I had a question about like.
Well, no, it's not your turn. You know, no,
I'm almost at
go ahead.
trades.
Actually, let me fit. Laura, are you all set? Is there anything else? Laura?
all set.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let it be
Okay.
for now.
Chad, do you have any questions for either one or any clarification in their notes?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Mikey? Good. Mike? You?
I'm good.
You all set, Don?
Yeah.
You all set, Tracy? Thank you. And Tracy, you don't have to put it all in your car. You can do it in multiple trips too.
Oh, thank you. That's so great.
We love you so. Hey, superintendent, so what we're doing is the superintendent's gonna get us his report for the next meeting, so we have something to talk about next meeting, but,
You'll actually have it in your email by the end of the week.
okay. Do you have anything you wanna hit us up with now, or are you all set?
No, I mean, I just want to say, as I've been saying, I think to you guys in the planning sessions, that these two have been doing fantastic jobs as very new principal and new to us principal, the new community, that the challenges that they've had to deal with have been varied and wide and in both buildings, and Some of them have been more public, perhaps, like the one in Wardsboro. Others have been more private, but not no less daunting. That these two have really done a fantastic job. I just want to publicly say that, make sure the board hears that, because they're doing great work with this. It's,
and that was
there's a lot of things coming at them. So
and that was a great concern, because we had not only 2 new administrators, but we had a new superintendent, and I know Laura had mentioned her concern, but I will say, from having had, I think this is our 6th principal since I've been on the board, and like our 8th superintendent, and you guys have really, and Donna, I only was involved, Wardsboro already had their principal when I started, but it seems like whenever we get a new principal, that's when the proverbial, what hits the fan, because Matt's first couple years was water system stuff, yours is the PCBs and asbestos, and Donna, I've never, in all my years, I told somebody, we've never had this kind of situation hiring staff. People used to, we get 20, 30 really quality applicants. And, so again, guys, it is, you deserve pats on the back. So thank you very much. And Bob, I think from the school district level, the supervisor union it's been really helpful, and we appreciate that. And you've done a really good job for us too. So, anybody else? Is everybody good? Oh, it's been up. It hasn't gone down. That's why I asked her if she was still set. Laura, are you still set? Okay. Does anybody else have any new business? Tracy, Donna, Bob, Laura, Chad, anything new to end the night?
No, thank you.
Mike, you said, sir?
All set, thank you.
Set? Good. So we got a couple clerical or kind of the housekeeping things. So last meeting, we didn't have the minutes from the previous meeting. So now we have the November 13th and November 20th minutes. Meredith, thank you too, because you're kind of new in this too, and you've been doing a good job keeping up with the minutes and all the stuff that goes on. So we appreciate that too, because it really helps us. Is there any issues with the minutes? Does anybody have any comments? Hearing nothing, I will say by unanimous consent, we'll accept the minutes of the 13th and the 20th. I have no correspondence. Do any of you have correspondence? Okay, we did ask in the agenda, and I think we talked about it at the last meeting, we need to kind of be prepared for some dates for some meetings. When we have one meeting a month, and we did try that for a little while, not as River Valleys, but we tried it in Dover, and sometimes if you do that and a lot of stuff comes up, you wind up having some pretty long meetings. And I remember we had one board member who used to say after 3 hours they're mush and it just doesn't work. And then Bob would start throwing things at us. Tracy would tell us she has to go take the recycling down to the landfill and disappear. And Don will go build a playground. So I think I'd still like to keep the meeting on the 18th, just because we may have to deal with some Wardsboro issues, and we'll get the superintendent's report. But January, our 2 meeting dates, our regular meeting dates. Well, let's deal with the December. Is everybody good with December 18th? And if we can keep it short, we will. And it may just be, to deal with the Wardsboro thing. Tracy, when do we need to deal with the recycling stuff and that? When does that happen?
Oh, it's currently already happening.
Okay.
Yeah. They just dropped off bins, without, just did it.
Okay, well, we've definitely talked right for 5 minutes after this meeting.
Is the school open that? The school's open that early part of the week, right? School's open.
Yeah, school goes to the end of the week.
End of the week,
Yeah,
right? Yes, that's one.
Yeah, because with it falling Christmas on a Monday, they have a full day on Friday, they get Saturday, Sunday off. Christmas is Monday, they'll be back on the following Tuesday. So this becomes a really short vacation for everybody.
Rich, quick question on the fall on the 18th. Because the rotation kind of got messed up with the all
Yeah.
Wardsboro stuff, is the 18th, are we here again because now we're gonna get back to the first in Wardsboro, second in Dover?
Oh, should be.
Or do you guys want to just now slide into a rotation? Like, what do you,
Well, what works best for you, Bob?
it doesn't matter to me, we'll figure it out.
What do you think, Tracy? You look like you.
And listen, I'm a creature of habit. I would prefer first in Wardsboro and third in Dover.
She did her principal advisory committee.
Yep.
The
Right,
It makes
right.
sense. Okay.
So why don't, since we've been in Wardsboro for quite a few, even the special meetings, does anybody have a problem? We'll do the next one in,
Back here.
Yeah.
yeah. The only thing is, we're gonna have to switch in April because we do need to, our articles of agreement say that we will meet in the town opposite where we're having the annual meeting to present, to do an informational meeting. So what we'll try to do is tie that into that meeting, the last meeting. So for right now,
That
let's,
actually might work out because we have to go 10 days prior for the meeting in Wardsboro. So in this 5 weeks.
but the second meeting is in Dover. So that would be
Oh,
the
right,
second
right,
one.
right.
So that's what I'm saying. In
I
April, we
thought
may
right.
need to change that.
See that? Okay.
Okay, so let's meet in Dover. Let's meet on the 18th, and we'll just do stuff we really have to do and just some brief updates so that January is not as slammed on us. So, go back to your calendar. For January, obviously the first Monday is the 1st,
That's correct.
and the third Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Correct.
Holiday. So, do we want to try to meet on Tuesday? But that sometimes messes Bob up because he's got other meetings. Do we want to try to meet opposite? Do we want to meet a different day? Do we want to, isn't there 5 Mondays in
There's
January?
5
There's
Mondays.
5 Mondays, so 8.
Do we want to meet, maybe use the 5th Monday so we can do budget and then do maybe like do something on a Tuesday for Martin Luther week?
You want to do the 8th and the 22nd?
What's the 8th?
So if we did this,
Following Monday?
well, I think the tricky part is that some people have, on the second and fourth Monday, I think they have commitments to
Other
other
meetings.
organizations, like
Oh.
Dover Fire Department. and-
Or Bob has other board meetings.
Yeah, Dave,
Oh, I see.
Right, so that's why I'm wondering if we need to meet on the 8th, can we meet earlier? So let's start here. Do we want to try, I think we should have 2 meetings in January because we do need to start getting budget stuff. Hopefully, you guys think you'll be able to have playground stuff by the middle of January, right? Before budget, is that, I mean, you're almost set, right?
Yeah,
Tracy?
sounds like it.
Will you be able to get?
If you need a number, we'll
Yeah.
get you a number.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it'd also be nice too, just if people ask at the meeting, this is what the money's for. Like Tracy said, it seems like a lot of money if you're thinking I can go to Home Depot and buy a swing set for my kids for $100.
Right.
But, this is not a swing set that you buy at Home Depot. So let's what does the 8th do for you, Bob? What do you have?
I have West River at 7.
7? Or do you do that remotely or do you go there?
I alternate.
Because if we were to meet earlier, could you meet with us earlier?
Sure. I'd be on Zoom, but yeah.
Yeah. Can you do earlier on the 8th? Can you do?
That's
It is a
what
Yeah, I
Monday.
can do that.
Can you two do the 8th?
I am not.
You
No,
cannot?
that's Not popular that day.
And you
Well, I
can't
mean,
do?
I can.
Huh?
my husband's having surgery that day, so
Oh,
I can't guarantee whether or not I will be able to.
okay, that's not good. What does Tuesday look like to people, the 9th?
Tuesday's good for me.
Tuesday's better.
That looks like a fun day to have a board meeting.
Why, what is it?
I don't know, I'm just, it just looks like fun.
Tracy, we would just, because it's gonna be in Wardsboro, if you can't make it, that's fine. We understand. If you just, let Bob know or
Yeah.
Donna know, whatever, if there's something specific you need brought up.
And if I can zoom in, I will.
Yeah,
We're
no,
going
and
for
again,
the
I just
8th
don't
or
want
the
to put any pressure on you.
We're staying with the 8th.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna do it earlier because that way we can let, Then,
They start at 7, so
So
if you put
we
me
do-
up front, you could do 6 still.
well, let's do 5.
Okay.
And then that way, we give you some time in between too. And we'll get you on first, Bob.
Wow.
Can you not do 5?
I can.
Chad and Laura, can you guys do 5 on the, what did we say, the
Monday
8th?
the 8th.
Monday the 8th, 5 o'clock.
Most likely, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it's a long ways off and something, who knows, what's gonna happen. We could have 5 feet of snow. Laura?
That's true.
Who? Laura?
Very likely.
Okay, so let's plan that, folks. And then what about the last Monday in January?
The 29th.
Yeah, because Bob, that shouldn't be anything for you, right? Tracy and
The
Donna?
only free day of the month. No, I'm just kidding.
Thursday, you have 3 Thursdays free, don't you?
That's true.
You want to
You
do?
want to do 5 o'clock again or just 6?
No, well, you know what, it doesn't matter. What do you guys want to do? Because we're doing a special kind of night.
Let's do 6, because that way I can stay on track.
Okay.
Other stuff.
Donna and Tracy?
Yep, that's good.
Bob, you're okay?
It was the 8th, 5 p.m. at Wardsboro, 29th at 6 p.m. at Dover.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
That's okay with that parent group, right, Trace?
Yep.
You good?
I'm good.
Mike?
Yep.
Chad and Laura?
That work?
Okay, Bob. Oh, Laura, I'm sorry. Did I hear from you? No. Let's assume it's okay because she didn't say it wasn't.
Or we needed an executive session.
No, hang on a second. Bob, for the 29th, because it is in that time period, Laura should have,
Thank you.
you're all good, Laura?
The 28th is a Monday. I will be as good as I can be.
29th.
Well, I know Tuesdays are tough for you during sessions.
Impossible.
No, I hear you.
Well, I can Zoom, actually.
Okay.
I take that back. I can Zoom.
Okay. Zoom in my car. Bob, can we talk to Lori? Because I think West River's budget should be done by then, correct?
I think they're adopting in January.
Yeah, so I mean, this is, because I think they vote in February, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're hoping to have, early March they vote, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think they would have.
So let's see if Lori can give us the first draft of the budget. And that fits into Andy's timeline really well.
For which meeting?
On the
For
second
that
one,
second
first one?
meeting.
January 29th.
Yeah. And she doesn't have to come live. If she can, we can do it on Zoom if she wants. And I think it's just presenting the budget and she can give us it's just the expenditures and it's just the high level. Here's what I'm thinking and let people digest it. And then we'll have her come back to a meeting in February too. Is everybody good with that?
Good.
Okay. So I would say, yeah.
Good.
Okay, so let's, I would like to entertain a motion to move into executive session for a matter of personnel. And Meredith, if you want, I'll ask Bob or somebody just send you what happened so you don't have to wait for us.
There's no action here.
I know, but we have to tell her what time we came out.
Oh, right.
And we have to state there's no action.
I can do that, Meredith.
That'd be great, thank you.
Thank you, Meredith. So, we don't have it written down. Do you have it somewhere?
I was checking.
Maybe we should include that. We should leave that on the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Are we doing both?
Yeah, you have to do both now.
Contract or, okay. I move to find that the premature general public knowledge regarding a contract would put the person involved at a substantial disadvantage if discussed in public.
So, can I have a second to Kate's motion, please?
Second.
Okay, Dwight seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
It appears to be a unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is.
I would like to make a motion for the board to enter executive session under Title I, Section 313 of the Vermont Statutes Legal Consultation 313A1.
Do I have a second to that? Dwight seconds that again. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
It appears to be a unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is. We will now enter executive session. Bye-bye. Okay, so by unanimous consent at 8:43, we're out of executive session.
7:40.
7:43, I'm sorry. Well, I can't see the clock, it's a long ways away. So Tracy and Bob will keep us informed, and if they need any further action from us, they'll let us know. So, is there no other business? I would entertain that motion that we all like to hear at 8:45, but 7:45 is better.
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:45 PM.
Second?
Second that.
Mike seconds it. You gotta write this down, don't forget.
Heard it.
Oh, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, thank you, everybody. See y'all.